Okay, let's look at the events that led up to that resignation. In 2015, hundreds of Ethiopians were killed by security forces in anti-government protests in two of the most populous regions, Oromo and Amara. Now those protests spread across the country, leading the government to impose a 10-month state of emergency in October 2016. But the demonstrations continued into this year, forcing the Ethiopian government to release more than 6,000 political prisoners. Sadala Lema is the editor-in-chief of Addis Standard. She joins us on Skype from the German city of Frankfurt. Sadala Lema, is there a struggle within the ruling party?
Hello, Peter. Yes, there is a struggle within the ruling party. It has been going on since the days of the founder and the chairman, the late prime minister. Power struggle has always dominated the function of the party for the last 6 years.
If we are a couple of days away from a prime minister, an Oromo prime minister, if that's indeed what happens, what will that person bring to the table?
Well, as a structure, there is really not much any incoming prime minister is going to bring to the table, because the country needs a very serious surgery, political surgery, to heal it from it's a structural dysfunction. But in terms of the narrative and in terms of the people's expectation, it might have a conciliatory role to bring in a prime minister from the Oromo party, because that is the region, let's not forget, which began the protest 3 years ago. And the people feel absolutely misrepresented in the federal government. So it might play a greater role to bring somebody from the Opidio as a conciliatory gesture. But structurally, it means really nothing unless there is a serious surgery of the structural surgery into the body politics of the country.
If the politicians need to indulge in some political surgery, to pick you up on that phrase, what are the chances that the country is also going to move towards, I guess, what you and I would recognize as a more open, democratic political system?
Right. This would include, anybody who would like to make any change in that country should begin by dismantling the repressive structural instruments that are deployed in that country. That begins from dismantling the laws, repressive laws that have obliterated the civil society from the ground, that have dismantled the checks and institutions of checks and balances, independent judiciary. In the long stretch, these are the more fundamental changes that need to be brought by any incoming prime minister if the country is to stay intact.
Okay, we have to leave it there. Sadala Lema, editor-in-chief of Addis Standard there in Frankfurt. Good to talk to you here on the News Hour. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.